Okay, folks, I guess this is it. It's a Monday again. And we thank God for traveling mercies. We thank God for traveling mercies. Just arriving from the little republic of Akwemo Dumasa. But you know it? You know how we start. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. My name is Nana Ansakwa IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemo Dumasa. Let me say thank you and welcome to another edition of a show I call That's My Opinion. As I remind you, when you're coming on board, leave your tags and labels. Try and come as open-minded as possible. But, even though everybody's, you can't say be objective. Everybody would approach a thing from what their point of view. But try and be as objective or as open-minded as possible. And if you do, though, you'll be as hooked as my son Malik in Adenta. You'll be hooked. And you will enjoy the show. So try and come on with no tact. This is a ritual performed by patrons, with patrons, and for patrons. Folks, our topic today is the remedy to ending vigilantism. Seems as if we are in the season of vigilantes. And on this issue, I will permit me to pour out from my heart, genuinely pour out from my heart my concerns with this issue of vigilantism. Permit me. Folks, now this is how it works, yeah? This is how it works. Now, there are few people with our system, right? There are very few people, who seem to be like a political elite. Political elites. Through no fault of theirs, the system is such that, folks, once you ascend power in this country, you are literally next to God. Apart from being able to create human beings and properly start Adam and Eve and, replant the Garden of Eden, you're next to God. You are given imperial powers. Control over the police, fire service, prisons, the army, over health, agriculture. You have power. Folks, some of the things that amaze me is you even have power over Red Cross. And when I say Red Cross, not more. If there were to be a rainfall today and your ceilings were blown off or your houses were blown off, the guy who brings you the plastic cup, a bucket, and a mattress, once your ceiling is blown off in your flat, the guy whose decision it is to bring you these things, that's all vested in the powers of the president. So you see, folks, there is too much power, too much money, too sudden. Folks, it will take a deity to be able to withstand that shock and change in life. You must be a deity on your own to be able to withstand that sort of shock. So here with our human, as fallible as he is, you then employ thousands and thousands of people who are all also fallible, doing their own things, giving too much power too sudden. So these guys are there trying to protect their interest to stay in power. The system is such that the police become a political tool. It's not because the police want to be, but I'm sure we all know the story that by the time the president, points who's supposed to be the IGP, the council that's going to select the IGP. I mean, everything literally. I mean, the IGP is like a deputy vice president. He can't say anything. In reality, you're stuck. In reality, you're stuck. So there's all this. Now we know the amount of policemen we have. And so there's voting going on in an area where, and you know something, folks, when you're in Accra, every 5 minutes you see the next policeman passing, you see the next policeman passing. Look, I've just come from Edumasa. I've come all the way from Kudi Kope, and Enyase, Jekiti, Edumasa, Pese, Ajena, go down to Sedom, all the way, unless you get to Akosombo, you ain't going to see any policeman. Not a single one. So, sometimes you see policemen, there's just too many of them in Accra, stopping every other car, checking your license and your stickers on. Joe, from Kudi Kope, unless you get to Akosombo, you're not going to see a policeman. So there are areas like that. And in there's Nkwapong, which is down there. You have about 80 voters, 100 voters in a little village there, and they're all there. And so these guys who have then been tasted so much power and want to protect it, naturally try to, fiddle the votes in such areas. And gradually they form, people who have become political fanatics with biceps who disrupt things to make sure that they stay in power. And so that's come to live with us, folks. So put that in your mind. The other thing, folks, is the total disrespect. Now, I don't know if you feel the same, but, sometimes when I listen to explanations, number one, the explanation is almost an insult. Number two, the person doing the complaint also has no moral rights. I mean, we are sitting there, right? You have citizen A and citizen B. Citizen B is told yesterday. He then comes out and says, hey, citizen A is stealing. After he stole yesterday. Citizen A won't come and even say that, look, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. No. They will come and give the most, blatant disrespect excuse. And I'm sure all over the news this week, we're hearing reasons and justifications. And as a citizen, I wonder, whether to turn off the radio or to continue listening to it. But it's here with us, folks. It is here with us. But we must know, folks, that we have allowed it. You and I have allowed it. Look at the issue of leaked taped sagas. Every single one of these political elites, most of them, from both big parties, have had leaked tapes. The first thing they come and tell us, either it wasn't my voice, or it was my voice, but it was doctored. It is fake and doctored. That's how much they value us. That's their worth. Very rarely would you see that come out and say, listen, I erred. I was speaking behind closed doors. It was a closed door meeting. I got excited. I shouldn't have said that. Look, forgive me. After all, resignation is not part of our culture. So there's no way I'm going to resign, but at least forgive me. It's not that I was, blatantly saying this and expecting it to be aired. Maybe somebody recorded my tape. I have a privacy of speaking and this thing happened. They wouldn't even give us that respect. Oh, it was fake. It was doctored. And then the same person would then come out later and said, oh, somebody's tape has also come. So, hey, go and crucify him. Go and crucify him. So I'm saying that, we're living in an area where one has no moral right and the other is just too disrespectful. But we are going along with it. Whether you like it or not, it's either MPP or it's NDC. Whether you like it or not, it's either MPP or NDC And we are stuck with it. And guess what, folks? All those who are outraged now with regards to vigilantism, those who are outraged now are NDC protagonists. Those who are mad with leaked tapes are MPP protagonists. And so if the NDC is going to speak, to the lip take saga, they will deny it, and the tone is measured. If the MPP is going to speak to vigilantism, they will either deny or the tone is measured. Look, after Ayawaso, when Bernard Mona was doing his demonstration, to say enough is enough, because it looks as if the NPP had upped the game with vigilantism. They've changed the politics. We all saw what happened at Ayawaso. With all explanation, with all intent and purpose, Ankuyi. And so a group of people are marching to say, listen, we don't want this again. And clearly, all those who were marching are not pro-government supporters. And you're Masem Papa. So then, folks, you ask yourself, how then is it going to stop? Folks, how then is it going to stop? Number one, I told you, you have somebody who's been giving power and money overnight. He's an imperialist. He's a god on his own. He has an army who are doing things that are untold. And still, the nation is divided. Those who are measured about it and those who are angry about it. And so if we are going to talk, Joe, I remember when we were kids, right? A friend called John. I won't say his surname so that it doesn't go to him, but it was called John. And we sat in the tractor, and John lit up his cigarette and started smoking. So there's this elderly man, silver hair, said to John, "Gentleman, the smoke is bothering me." John's response to the old man was that, even me, with the smoke coming out of my nostrils, I'm not saying I'm bothered. How can you sit there and say you're bothered? Folks, the issue we are confronted at now is the John smoking scenario. Why? Because we who are supposed to be, affected are saying we don't care. We, the voters who are directly being affected, are saying, look, we don't care. And if we do, we are divided. It depends on who's in power, and it depends on which era before we are going to be concerned. It is very rare for all of us to say, no, this is white or this is black. No. It is white depending on who's painting it, and it is black depending on who's painting it. And so you ask yourself, what sort of citizens are we grooming? Citizens that are so readily to break the law, shy away from the truth, to the point that it doesn't matter how clear things are, we are unable to voice it. We can't all come together today, whether you're MPP, just as a Ghanaian, to say that, no, this is wrong. We can't. That's impossible. We can't. So you can go and march, dance, and jig. They will still try and find out from which position you are dancing and jigging from. And that, my friends, is what I'm saying, that until you and I get angry, then we are stuck with it. Folks, this is the era where we have more degrees. This is an era where we have more learned people, universities coming out of every other house. And yet, look at us. Folks, there's in the advent of WhatsApp, Facebook, where you can reach people and mobilize people within seconds. I mean, let some girl drop his knickers or take his bra up. Within the next 2 minutes, people will be sending it to you from UK. Forget about those in Ghana. That's how quick news will spread. Yet, we can't mobilize for a good cause. And so then you ask, what sort of citizens are we? What sort of citizens are we grooming? That with all this power of information, the access to best practices worldwide, we still can't put a finger on it. Folks, what citizens are we grooming? Folks, maybe this time, because the NPP changed the game a little bit, that's why there's been a bit of hoo-ha. But otherwise, they can give you thousands and countless examples of when voting was going on and something bad happened. They'll give you Tripoli, you hear Tripoli, you hear this, you hear that. They'll give you examples where people were beating left, right. They'll give you examples. And I'm saying that maybe because now they're sort of pushing the vigilante with sort of state backing, that's what has ruffled the nest a bit. Otherwise, we don't care. Folks, and because we don't care, it goes on. Look, imagine you were going to vote, yeah? You turn up at Kokomilime to come and vote, and you went there and there was a wooden busk. I'm sure you will go mad and hold on. We don't use these things anymore. It has to be transparent. And because you and I will not accept that, it will be very, very difficult for somebody to go and put, an opaque box there to say we are voting. It won't be accepted. Yempene. Collectively, nobody, whether you're NPP or NDC, open it, and so it won't happen. It's the same way these private bodyguards and ballot boxes are illegal. It's the same illegality. But that one, we are okay with it. I was talking to somebody, today, actually. And I say, in the little Republic of Edumasa, I have an absolute, zero tolerance towards felling of trees. You do not cut a tree in my republic. You have two things. You either live with my trees or you move out of the town. Go and tell the judge or the policeman that I, Nana Sakwa said, I will not let you cut a tree in my town. And so guess what? I don't have too much of a tree felling problem. Every now and then you have the odd one, sneak one, but generally it's very, very good with regards to tree felling. Planting trees. We planted about 1,000 trees recently. They've all grown beautifully and they've been left alone. And if you go near it, they'll tell you, hey, people say I have my juju in the tree. And so if you go near it, I get very angry. I passed another law with regards to leaving stray animals. But when they leave the stray animals, I am not as mad as I am with the trees. And so sometimes right in front of the palace, there'll be stray animals in front of the palace. But with the tree, I will report you to the police, I will report you to forestry, and I will send you to court. And indeed, I took my Jasi and my Brantihini to court for cutting my tree. That is how far I went. And I'm just saying that it is because you and I are not angry. We are treating the vigilantism as if I'm treating my sheep. And yeah, we can go live with it. Folks, the NPP can meet, the NDC can meet, they can bring the Pope, folks, they can bring the Dalai Lama. Why is he going to stop smoking? So why would he stop smoking? That is the thing. You and I who get affected are not angry. We are selective with our anger. So they will sit and meet and talk and dance and drink. If they come out and we are not angry, and these guys will keep them in power or supposedly, ruffle things up and any affected. I also look at the amount of people that turned out to vote. It affected them. And somebody's in power. Somebody's tasting it. So folks, I am saying the remedy to ending this vigilantism is a unified hunger, a unified declaration, where all stakeholders, meaningful stakeholders, come out together and say, no, wait here. Otherwise, folks, we live with it until they become powerful, as they keep saying, as they, give examples of Boko Haram and all these other, funny groups who then grow wings and get access to some funds. If you're not lucky, and they start getting, money from some other terrorist groups from outside, they become a wing on their own and cause trouble. So folks, maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you agree with me. Maybe you have another alternative method. But look at what happened with Galamsey. It was one time that we all became Ghanaians. We were so Ghanaians that the politics, could not come into the issue. Even though if you were NDC, Charlie, you dare not come and say anything because the anger was unified. We wanted our waters back. And we got it. Radio, print, online, screen, name it. It was anti-Galamsey. Kick the Chinese out. Stop digging. Do this. They were out there burning excavators. They were doing brutal things. Look, they had to stop. And what happened? Well, at least it reduced. There was a significant reduction. Until we come together and treat it the same, then folks, we either keep quiet and live with it. We either keep quiet and live with it, or we unify our anger. Folks, 0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. What is your opinion? Good evening, Osei Kojo. Sometimes I don't understand the so-called citizens of this country. If the leaders are doing something wrong, instead of us to come together and condemn, it seems we are separate, MPP and NDC. So I don't understand. Either we are putting our leaders, we're putting the leaders on our toes, or it's the party colors that we always love. And that's my opinion. Good evening, Osei Kojo. Christiana Ya Amwaba Nyakun. Nice name. Keep the good work, Nana. You're making a good impact on some of us. Thank you. But Sammy is in La Paz. Let me hear Sammy. Hello, Sammy.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
I'm glad that you said what kind of citizenry that we are producing. It is the same citizenry that is giving the nation these problems. Because now we can't have good people as leaders. If you don't have money, forget it. There's no way you can get into better positions to lead. If you have good intentions, nobody is going to help you get there. You need to get money. So we have those who have money as leaders. They don't have good intentions for us. And I blame it on the citizens. As you said in your own republic, nobody can sell trees. How can't other chiefs do the same? And how will Ghana be like? Let other chiefs implement their own policing and other stuff in their own small way. And let's see how Ghana will be like. Everything, we are waiting for the government to come and do it for us. And even government, we don't take care. Or this is for government, that is for government, and we don't care. We have to work in our own small way to develop Ghana. Ghana is for us. We don't have anywhere to go.
Thank you very much. Right there in Mankasim is Stephen. Hello, Stephen.
Yes, no, good evening.
Good evening. What's your opinion? What's your remedy?
For me, you can put a greater part of the problem on the people. Because, listen, it's like your son or daughter in the house. You giving your daughter or son your car, and he goes into town and misbehaves, every time. And you keep rewarding him every time. Oh, take it, take this money and go. We give them the power. The power does not belong to them. The power, the sovereignty of this country resides in the people, not that you NDC. But look, we've been rewarding them handsomely with our vote. And so they feel like, hey, we can mess up, we can do anything we like, and the people will not do anything about it, and they'll be divided among themselves. Today, look at NPP and NDC supporters castigating each other and rather blaming media men who are doing their work. Nana, that's the saddest part of this argument.
Saddest part, when I remember when Manasseh went to find some Ford Jesus Christ, he was Lucifer. Today Manasseh finds some militia people, he's Jesus Christ. You see, that's what I'm saying, that for me as a citizen, I feel very disrespected. I don't know how you feel, but I feel very disrespected. One has no moral grounds and the other is just, of how but Bright is in Kaneshi. Hello, Bright.
Hello, good evening, Ghana.
Good evening, my brother.
Oh yes, I just want to say something about concerning the vigilantism or whatever.
Let me hear you.
Yes, when we're growing up, during Hilal Liman's time to early TNDC, vigilantes were made to check wrongdoers, not to cause mayhem or to break laws. Vigilantes were formed to make sure there's orderliness everywhere. When they are selling their provisions, when those times they queue for provisions, when they are in queue, vigilantes make sure the queue runs fine. When the people are doing kalabule in their corners, vigilantes arrest them and make sure they are dealt with appropriately. But these days, vigilantes are just behaving animalistically, which is not good at all, Nana. It's not good. We must stand up and do something about it. Otherwise, if there's going to be something else, we must stop them now, or never. Thank you, Ghana. Bye-bye.
Thank you too, my brother. 0302216541. Ernest is in Ashiaman. Hello, my brother.
Hello, evening, Nana.
Good evening.
You see, one thing I have seen in this country is that we are too selfish. And any time the thing is not close to us, we think it will never get to us, so we don't care. Let me give you another example. For instance, this land guard issue. When it started as if it's a joke. I can tell you there is a place here in Ashama, Zeno, Atadeka area that when you are building your house, these macho men will come and say they are the land guard, and you have to pay them until you complete your building.
Wow.
It's happening here in Ghana. The police are hearing of it, others are hearing of it, but it's going on. And because somebody thinks, it is not me building, we will not speak against it. I know people whose building has been pulled down just because they have never given land guards their share of money that they must take from them. And this is the nation in which we found ourselves. So what you are saying is true, unless we become angry as people and know that because it has happened to MS, it can happen to me too. Let's stop it.
Thank you very much, my brother. Let us stop it. Good evening, Nana. We have become a dishonest people. Our dishonesty will judge us tomorrow, and by tomorrow, Ghana will be no more. Truth is lost to the society. Pastors leading the chart, followed by public servants, Macosby Anthony. But Shem is in Accra. Hello, Shem.
Hello, Shem from Pam.
Talk to me, my brother.
Okay, Nana, good evening. Nana, my small contribution is the youth of this country need to stand up. The youth of this country, the country belongs to us. The youth, we need to either call these two political parties to order and let them understand the country doesn't belong to neither party A, neither party B. Nana, I would always envisage that the youth of this country vote these two parties out because these things can go unpunished. We shouldn't let these two parties have it their way. It is something Ghanaians should not condone. We should not say I belong to A, I belong to B. Since they are the two parties which have these vigilante group, militia groups, Nana, let's put them to the side. Let us allow them sit on the fence. Let them re-strategize. Let them rethink and say, hey, Ghanaians have gotten to this level where they can push these two so-called prolific parties aside and bring other parties for them to come and sit on the throne. Let us give the others the opportunity because, Nana, this thing is unbecoming. We are supposed to get angry and shout onto the road and push them out of their offices. Why? We don't need this in Ghana, Nana. We don't need this. The youth to stand up. The youth should stand up and fight the cause. Let's charge the cause, Nana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ronald is in Adringano. Hello, Ronald.
Hello, Nana. Good evening, Unkwaso.
Mida Asiminia.
You've brought up a very big topic. But for me, I don't blame our leaders. I blame we the citizenry. I don't think former president or the current president will see his nephew join militia group. No. So it's left for it's up to us, the citizens, to know what is good for us. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities out there you can look for. Not necessarily joining politics or politicians for them to manipulate you. So please, it's high time that we, the citizens, advise ourselves.
Thank you very much. Folks, like I'm saying, if you went out to vote today and there was an opaque ballot box, I mean, come on, there will be an uproar. So why is it that if we go there and there are funny people who are not supposed to be there, we don't say, well, if that's the case, I'm not going to vote? Because if you were all queued up and sometimes by 3 a.m. until the people come by, the queue is already there. Imagine the guy came and just brought a wooden box and said, look, this is what I'm bringing today. Even though the law says I should bring a transparent box, I feel like bringing a wooden box. Nobody will vote. So I'm saying it's the same way. If there are some funny people there with guns and everything, why don't we walk away and say, Joe, if you're going to break the rules, take your box and go? I'm just asking. I don't know. But Kofi is in Dodowa. Hello, Kofi. Oh, Kofi, your line dropped. Oh, greet your Kukurubo for me anyway once you are in Dodowa. Kukubo Nene Kwesite Ajimai, good friend of mine, Dodowa Hene. Nana, some of us are very disgusted with the two leading parties. I wish people won't get out of their beds and go queue in the scorching sun to vote for these people to come and rule over us. Their party vigilante boys, I'm sure, will swallow their party members soon. They will turn their guns on them when they don't get their pound of flesh. Nana in Spintex Road. Good evening, Nana. But Kweku is in Pokwasi. Hello, Kweku.
Hi, Nana. Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Boko Minia. Nana, you see, politicians are evil. I'm telling you. Politicians from everywhere, they are very much evil. They say one thing in public, and when they get into their closet, they do the other thing. They preach virtue and they practice vice. You see, that's what I call evil politicking. Evil politicking. And until something is done, you see, one of these days, if you tell somebody in this country that you're a politician, they will stone you. I pray to God that we get to that state where
calm down. I mean, I know I say we should get angry, but we don't want to incite violence on my show. You won't need to go to the privileges committee. I mean, anger doesn't necessarily mean violence. I mean, with the Galamsey, we didn't cause any violence, but we were angry enough.
But I've always said that this country doesn't need politicians. We need managers. We need people with track record of managing whatever they have succeeded. We don't need politicians to run this country. We need managers and people who are honest to run this country.
Good. Senam is in East Legon. Hello, Senam.
Yes, hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to speak a little bit about this. When you look all over the world, let's take the Arab Spring, for instance. It took a fruit seller, okay? I'm not actually saying we should condone violence, but it took a fruit seller's frustration to set himself on fire to get people agitated to topple a government they didn't want, okay? Here we've seen incompetency that has led to the General Major Mahama being killed, the kidnapping of all these three ladies and all that, and yet we are unable to act. One of the problems is education, proper education. From the onset, we don't have enough Ghanaians who are taught, even from home, that you can speak for your rights. Even as young as 8, you are not taught that when a policeman is doing something wrong, you can voice out. You're always taught to be quiet. You're always taught to be very, very meek. When a policeman is talking, your hands have to be at your back. Soldiers can slap anybody anytime they want, and you can't say anything. All these things have led to this. So generally, a Ghanaian is nonchalant because it's like, what can I say? After all, I'll be harassed and bullied into complying. So it's rather unfortunate, but the only way we can see effective change, like you said, is we stand together.
Standing together, because you know something, this Arab Spring where the guy went to burn himself up. Joe, just imagine Ghana. You just imagine Ghana, right? And Sammy Gyamfi gets angry now because of vigilantism, and so gets some kerosene and sets himself alight. Joe? Or you just imagine that, you know, Samia Wuku also gets angry. It's not Sammy Gyamfi now, it's Samia Wuku gets angry and sets himself alive. That's what we say. MPP for Nenyo. If it's Sammy Gyamfi, it's MDC for Nenyo, regardless of what the cause was. Regardless of the cause. Could have been fighting for maybe babies dying unnecessarily, and he's so frustrated, and so he's burning himself so that, you know, we will all rise up for the cause. Joe, don't go and burn yourself. We are not up to that standard yet. But my brother is waiting for me in Wale Wale. Samuel.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, boss.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Let me hear you.
I'm enjoying your show in Wale Wale.
Thank you.
Yes. Nana, I want to contribute a little to political vigilantism.
Let me hear you.
In relation to persons with disability. Nana, assuming the day the violence took place in Ayawaso, a person with disability, a visually impaired person or a wheelchair user went out there to vote, and he caught up in this exchange of guns. What would have happened to such a person?
Mm-hmm.
Nana, it has.
Well, what even happened to able-bodied persons? I mean, what even happened to
it? It has a lot of effects on we persons with disability. Mm-hmm. Assuming a person with disability went out there to vote and made this unfortunate situation. Now, Nana, again, during the gun exchange, the last person who testified to the commission, you know that his legs can be amputated and he become a disabled person. So I want to beg the country, I want to beg Ghana that we don't want the number of persons with disabilities to increase through the activities of vigilantism. Already with the few disabled in the country cannot even cater for us very well. So when the numbers increase, now what becomes our fate?
That's going to be the problem. My brother Samuel is a person who disabled. He's in a wheelchair, you know, and he's doing amazing. He has a very beautiful wife. And every day I'm saying, hey, my brother, you have rap. So, Belinda from Koforidia, I think it's high time we Ghanaians show both MPP and NDC the red card. If we do so, they will take us serious. But my brother is waiting for me in Tema. Ajimang.
Nana, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I was not able to call in last week. I was driving on the motorway.
Great. And let me hear you today.
I'm through. And I want to do some fair comparison.
Mm-hmm.
You know, smoking is very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But they say when you smoke in public, it's an offense. But people smoke in public, but we think it is going into them, so it doesn't disturb us. But we, the passive smokers, we are suffering a lot.
Mm.
Fine. Now, they are collapsing banks. Not all the banks, some of the banks. Why? Because they are not reaching to some certain targets. So, to my opinion, vigilantism is not bad. But if you see a certain group whose activity is disturbing the nation, then we stop them. So if, excuse me to say, Party A is having its militia men who are doing something bad to disrupt the country, and Party B is also having the same militia men, but yes, they are doing their work the way they should do. Why do we attack them because we think this one is having some, other one is also having some, we should collapse all of them? I think vigilantism is good, but the purpose of which we use them It's what we have to take care of.
Well, I guess you're coming from a different angle. This one is from my sister, Dr. Cynthia Tego. That's a good one with the Smoking John story in Ghana. Didn't know your Ghana was that tweak. Says, I like your Ghana. Well, thanks. Nana, the typical Ghanaian is a diplomatic hypocrite who, even though does not like something that is wrong, will look on and condone with his hair silence and later complain. We each have to speak out against wrong and together get some good done. Dr. Cynthia Tego, thank you. Chairman Awudu is all the way in Boko. Hello, Chairman.
Hello, good evening to you all.
Good evening to you, boss.
It's a good evening. This is a good opportunity for me to come into your line. Mm-hmm. I've been trying always, but I don't get.
You're welcome today.
Thank you. And for your good work that you are doing. Yeah. How the country is going on, we all don't like it that way. But others are saying the youth should get up and go against all these things. But I also say we, the citizens of this country, should rather get up and go against all these vigilantes and then all these things that is happening in this country. But when you say the youth, it is rather the youth who are playing more, giving us more difficulties in our country. Because some are occupying certain positions, whereby they are not all that mature, need to say. Because some of them are playing smart, but not being clever. Just as Bob Marley says, that playing smart, but not being clever. So we should get the clever ones to, head our institutions and all this in political parties, so that they will know what is right and what is wrong.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. Few more calls. Nana, good evening. It all boils down to Nokofio Nibomobaye. Something small someone will eat. And that's my opinion. Jibril is in Dansuman. Hello, Jibril.
Nana, good evening. How are you?
I'm very well.
Nana, my name is Jibril. I'm calling you from Dansuman, and I'm a first-time caller, although I've always followed your show.
Thank you.
You see, this topic you have brought tonight is actually something very, very significant. And I can categorically tell you that this is happening in Nigeria, particularly in some parts of Nigeria, not all. And it's something to actually look into, because it's destroying democracy. It's actually destroyed democracy. And I can tell you that people of this nature have their people up and down. And before you know it, they start fighting each other. I can give you an example or an instance just for the election we had recently. You can realize when one party in a particular area realize that the other party are being voted for in that area, they will send their thugs there to go and beat them or burn their ballot boxes and all that. And believe you me, these people have ammunition. And I can't stand up now and tell you that somebody is giving them ammunition. But they find their way in getting ammunition. Before now, they used to face themselves with cutlasses, bottles, and throw stones at each other. But now they are facing themselves with guns. And they start shooting themselves. And the citizens have to see this. A lot of people lose their life in this kind of situation. And so if this thing is not stopped now, it's going to generate something else.
And we hope it doesn't get there. And now regarding Galamsey, I don't think we were angry enough. Actually, we weren't angry. Our rivers are still brown, still Galamsey going on. Presidential staff are caught taking money. Attorney General aroused Chinese Queen Pin Aisha off the hook. Our leaders are so dishonest, greedy, morally bankrupt, blah, 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 etc. To the extent that our current level of anger will not move any of our current leaders. I think the anger that will turn things around must necessarily break the existing laws. All the righteous in the land must get down on our knees and supernaturally remove our crooked and warped leaders by DOD. That's my opinion. Dr. Yao Okriku Irenchi getting very hard on that. Well, folks, so that was my opinion. I have listened to he said, she said, he was more wrong than I was. But I'm saying until you and I, unless if the lasun jengugo ni egba, then we are in trouble. So if we, the affected, are not saying anything, then the benefactor won't say nothing. Because when these boys play a one, somebody benefits. We lose. And we, the ones who are losing, are not unified angry. That's what I'm calling for. That's what I'm calling for. And I'm saying that in the past, we had, Kwame Nkrumah and J.B. Dankwa who could just write a letter and people would rally, the whole country would rally for a cause. 2 weeks for the letter to get to where it was going, or 3 days. Today we can do it in, nanoseconds. And yes, we can rally for a good cause. But I want to say a very big thank you to Nana Doma Hima, Nana Agogo Hima, for coming to grace Nana Afrakuma II Akwamu Hima's launching of her 55th year anniversary. She's been on the throne for 55 years. She was installed when she was 18. And so this weekend, this Sunday, Akwasidai Deneho Nana Hima Doma Hima was there to grace the occasion. In fact, she chaired it. Nana Agogo Hima was there as a co-chair. And now Odeno Hokwafu Akoto sat in there to grace the whole occasion. It was beautiful. So to all who made the journey to Akwamufie this Sunday, from and on behalf of Nana Afrakuma II and Nana Kwafu Akoto III, say a big thank you. November is the big anniversary. We're looking forward to seeing you all. Folks, my name is Nana Ansakwa IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwamu Dumasa. My son Abe Kusan Kofi was on the 1s and 2s. Monday, I'll be back with you.